Welcome into the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast, and Happy New Year! Woohoo! This is season 2, episode 1 of 2024. How's it going?
Yeah.
I'm Ron Ross. Thank you so much for hanging with us. He is John Yaglenski.
Hi there.
Who is my partner and also the executive producer and pretty much does everything in this podcast. And good morning, John. How you doing, man? Everything good?
Good morning. In the morning
Yeah.
to you, Ron.
Nice. And also, I did want to say
Yes.
that you can call us anytime. All right.
You
The
can.
number is 240-415-9090. 240-415-9Z. Also, please share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube if you'd like. Follow us on Facebook. And you can get the audio version of the podcast wherever you get your podcast. So on Apple or on Google. I mean, we are
Google's going away, by the way.
everywhere. The Google Podcast?
Yeah, they're shutting it down, I think. Is what I heard.
Okay. Well, then you can't find us there.
No,
You'll find us someplace else.
everywhere else, though.
Yeah, everywhere else.
Yeah.
I just checked on the Blerius Blexem app. By the way, they've a little a little consumer. It's just a consumer. I'm just being a consumer. Okay?
Oh, you're consuming. Okay.
I'm just being a consumer because I guess as a little bonus, or I don't know, maybe they'll hear this and they'll pull it from me, but they I still have a subscription, or I still have, I can still access SiriusXM programming.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know. And so I knew about the rebranding, and they were rolling out a new app and all that stuff. And so finally it updated on my phone, and I got the new app, and I went and checked it out. And weird. I guess maybe I was just used to the previous.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's supposed to be user friendly or what, but all of my favorites, all the channels that I had flagged as my favorites was gone. It's not there anymore.
Sorry.
It's now it's now called Library. Okay, so they changed the name.
What?
Yeah.
Library.
Yeah, it's Library.
I'm going to put it in my
I'm
library.
going to put it in my library. I did notice that they changed some of the programming of I created a channel back in the day. Gosh, I don't know how many years ago.
Mhm.
With and this was at the suggestion of daughter, the younger Carolina,
Right.
who was way into the emo pop punk bands, like All Time Low. I always say All Time Low because they're from Towson, Maryland, near Hun, and they're great. I love those guys.
Right.
But Blink 182, bands like that. And so she's like, why don't you guys play this? You guys being SiriusXM. And they were being played on different channels, but there wasn't one place where this whole genre was being played. So I got together with a woman that I worked with who was working with me on 90s09. I was a program director in 90s09. And she also was a fan of All Time Low, so much so that she would like follow the Warped Tour. She would take time off during vacation and go and follow the Warped Tour from Baltimore, DC to Atlanta or whatever for 4 different shows. And she loved all of that stuff. So she was living the lifestyle, and she's a bass player, and she had her own band and all that stuff. Jacqueline does listen to this, by the way.
All right.
And she and I put this whole thing together. I pitched it. It got and Jacqueline, of course, they said, well, Ron, you're too busy. So, because I was doing the morning show, and then I was, so who do you want to helm this? And I said, well, obviously Jacqueline's the choice. So she was the program director. But I've noticed that they've changed it now to, if you go to one of their specialty channels, like the 90s, say you do 90s09 rock. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually hit advance and move on to the next song because it's programmed not by a person, but by an algorithm. Jacqueline was programming, and so I noticed that on Pop 2 on the emo channel, which is what we find in the emo project, was what eventually what it became. Is now you hit so it's an algorithm or some program or whatever. So it's not a real live person who is putting all that stuff. There you go, Joanne. has just posted a comment on our Facebook broadcast. I don't like the new app either. The library doesn't stay in any type of logical order. Thank you, Joanne. Doesn't feel a lot of user friendly. It just doesn't. But whatever. I don't. At the risk of sounding like sour grapes, I don't really go to the app much. I really kind of went to it just to see if I still had it, and I did apparently.
Right.
And it's on in the car, at least until they hear this. I still have it on in the car. I check that every now and then. I did like one holiday channel they had, which was Holiday Chill, which was
Holiday Chill.
Yes.
I must have missed that. But
it was all this remixed, like downbeat, chill holiday music. It's great. It's fantastic. But you know what? I put Holiday Chill on my Spotify. Got the same stuff.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, Mike commented on YouTube. I agree. The app is terrible. It's funny because prior to you bringing this up here, and independent of talking to you, I saw on X where a couple of my friends were really complaining about what Sirius XM had done. And I was like, what? I don't know. Because I've got it now for free for 90 days in the new car that I bought, by the way, over the holidays.
Yeah. Do you listen to it?
Well, I mean, it's free.
Yeah. What channels do you listen to?
I typically listen to talk. I don't listen to a lot of music.
The music channels?
But that or Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Yacht Rock.
Yacht Rock. Yeah.
Yacht Rock Radio. I would love to do those voiceovers.
Just my humble opinion.
Yeah.
But I thought if you're going to play that playlist and that's your playlist, don't make fun of the people who listen to it.
What, the Yacht Rock?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm a Yacht Rock guy.
Because
you know what I think of? Like a best Yacht Rock band name ever, by the way. Down here, I saw them playing in Savannah. Their name is Thurston Howell. That's the name of the Yacht Rock band. Which I thought was funny. And that's what I think of every time I hear the Yacht Rock Radio. Oh, lovely. So that's my opinion on that one.
Well, it's 11:08 Eastern, and I've spent 8 minutes way more talking about Sirius XM than I really wanted to. Yeah. So my apologies. I'll walk that back. So happy New Year. Yay! Here we are, 2024. Yay. All right, let's do a little holiday recap.
Okay.
Of what went on in the old Ross household. We had the entire familia was coming over to the house. So we had daughter, the younger, Carolina, who lives in Philadelphia. She and her boyfriend, Will, were coming for Christmas. And we had Will for Christmas morning. And Carolina had told us, look, let's pull out all the stops. Let's make this. I want it to be a typical, Ross Christmas. Show Will what it's all about. And we're like, okay, cool. So that's what we're going to do. And typically we have a big dinner on Christmas Eve, which is and I know there's in the Italian community, it's like the Feast of the Seven Fishes, but actually, no, we just get crab legs. Nice. And that came, it was a radio station thing because I used to get a bonus every year. I forget which company it was, but it was a Weiss, which is a grocery store.
Love the Weiss
in my area.
Yeah.
And John used to work at Weiss back in the day.
I did. Yeah.
And Weiss or Safeway or whatever for a turkey. Except you didn't have to get a turkey. So I would just take it and go get. And I have to thank Mark Williams, his radio name, for doing this, because that's what he would do. He would go and he's like, I just got 5 pounds of steamed shrimp.
Yeah, to heck with the turkey.
And I'm like, okay. So we would go get
smart
crab legs. Yeah. Opelio crab legs. Now that I know what they're called, snow crab legs.
Oh, is that what they are?
Thank you, Deadliest Catch. You never watched Deadliest Catch?
Like maybe twice.
Yeah. Well, not Alaskan king crab legs. Those are monstrously huge. They're unbelievable big.
Yeah.
But no, the snow crabs, the Opelio crabs.
Right. They're good.
And we would get that, and that's what we would have. So anyway, Derek, who is my son-in-law, which is daughter, the elder's husband, is firefighter. So he had to work Christmas Eve. So we decided we were going to have that whole seafood thing on Saturday on Christmas Adam. I forget who told us that it was Christmas Adam because it's Christmas Eve Eve.
That's
Get
funny.
it? Get
That's
it?
funny. I'm going to use that now.
Okay. So on Christmas Adam, that was Saturday night. So now the
So
thing
dumb,
is,
it's
though,
funny.
Will is coming. This is the boyfriend of the daughter of the younger, and he is allergic to shellfish, so he can't have the crab legs. And the way he described it, and GS1, my grandson, now knows that he can have this, he can't have this. So he can have mollusks, he can have clams and mussels and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I'm making the claw sign with my hand, so he can't have anything, shellfish like that. Anyway, so we decided, greatest wife ever, said, hey, let's make linguine and clam sauce. Never made it before in my life. And we went and got clams, and we got the crab legs for everybody, and we made it, and it was fantastic. So Saturday was fantastic. And then I had been contacted by one of my very good friends, Jason, who is in a band. His band is called Crash the Limo, and they were playing Saturday night, the 23rd, in Frederick at one of my favorite Irish bars, Bushwallers. And they didn't go until 10, but their bass player has been out for health reasons, and so their substitute bass player was actually their sound guy. So Jason called me and said, hey, would you twist the knobs? Would you just, all you got to do is just make sure that everything sounds right, and turn, and I used to run sound for a band.
Yeah.
Front of the house, sound engineer. And I love doing that stuff. I love it, except I hate doing it on an iPad. Hate it doing it on an iPad because there's a latency in it. You press it, and then for some reason I'm snake bit. I don't know what the problem is, but I'll press a fader like for the lead guitarist. Lead guitar is about to play a lead in a song, so I want to turn him up a little bit so he's a little bit higher than the rest of the band, right?
Yeah.
So it punches through into the crowd. I mean, it was huge crowd, right?
Yeah.
And I put my finger on the pot, which is it's a radio industry term for potentiometer, but pot, you call it a pot. So I put my finger on the pot, and all of a sudden it just goes, and the screen switches to monitors. Now I'm adjusting everybody's monitors, not what's coming into them. I'm like,
so you can't do it at the board anymore?
Why would you do it? There is no board.
Really?
No board.
It's all on an iPad?
All on an iPad. No physical board, right?
No, thank you.
But anyway, for most of the night, I had a great time. And I was about, 20 feet off from the left speaker. What are you showing us, John?
The board.
You got to have your board. No. I'm sorry.
Board.
We were talking about boards. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
physical board. It's not a physical board with the slide faders and all that stuff and buttons to press. None of that. Buttons. It's all Blinkies. All on an iPad.
Blinkies, buttons. Yep.
Which is, with
so
technology,
you turn them up and it switched, and then you missed the solo.
Well, no, I went back, and of course, I'm trying to make my way up to the stage to get to the sound guy, who's the bass player. But actually, I got to Jason, and he's just like, he goes, I'm like, what happened? Why is it monitors again? And he switches this and goes back, and and I'm like, okay, I got it. So the challenge was then in the middle of the crowd is that these guys were broing out. They were having the absolute best time.
Okay.
Now, look, I'm a dude. I get it. I've done that. I'm out with my buddies. I'm out with my pals. It's the holidays. I'm hammered pretty good. Yes. And so, good Lord. But it was I'm standing there with the iPad, and I just kept getting this the whole time as these guys, and I'm trying to be patient because, I'm working, but also I got to understand these guys are having a great time.
Right.
So it was fun. And occasionally one of the more sober ones would pull, head bro away
from the sound guy,
away from my arm, where it was just constant. And you'd think he'd be annoyed by this bony little elbow in the middle of his back, but nah, he didn't care. So then the best part was Jason knew that Carolina, the younger daughter, was coming, and Carolina's got her own band, Swerves, which you can find them on YouTube and Spotify. And she's got an EP out called Pity Party and a bunch of music that she writes and records and sings all herself with her band. Right. Anyway, so Jason hit me before and it says, hey, if Carolina's coming, can she sing? Will she come up and sing? And I said, absolutely. Man. What do you want her to sing? And he said, Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus.
Oh, nice.
I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. So I went to Carolina and I'm like, hey, Jason wants to know about Teenage. She goes, that's my karaoke song. I'm like,
well there you go. And now you have it. Yeah.
So that was a really proud moment. So she and Will were just having the best time because the music was blasting and they knew every song and played a lot of Foo Fighters. And of course, those guys could do no wrong. And of course, the sound was impeccable. And it was, dance floor was packed. I mean, it was just, and everybody's in the holiday spirit. And, it was a great time. And she got called up and she sang and she was singing the harmonies and it was just great. So, and I want to thank him for calling her up and saying, he called me up and I got to sing a song too, which is always fun that he calls me up to do that. So that's Psycho Killer.
Okay.
So
nice.
Thank you. So that's Saturday night. It was great. Okay. Sunday is Christmas Eve.
Right.
And Christmas Eve, we're just everybody's just kind of chilling around the house. And that's my favorite day, not Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, because of just the anticipation. It's electric. You're baking and you're cooking things and just generally what have you. And so then it got to the point where it's like, oh no, I forgot to get the champagne for the mimosas for the next day. And right for Christmas morning. Yep. So we found a liquor store that was open. I'm like, okay, I'm around, and I had to go get croissants as well because we had those as well for breakfast in the morning and on Christmas Day. So I'm like, all right, well, that's it. I'll go. I get in the car, and as I get in the car, my kidney goes, "Hey, I'm here," and I'm like, "Oh, all right, that's good, fine." Sit down in the car. I'm driving. Next thing I know, I'm lightheaded. I'm operating a motor vehicle, mind you.
Yeah.
Lightheaded. I've got this. I am now hyperventilating. I've got this burning feeling in my abdomen. It's below my heart. So right. I'm pretty sure it's not my heart, but I have a heart issue anyway. So
which means spooked. You're forever paranoid. Yeah.
I'm spooked with that anyway.
Get it. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Mm-hmm. Get to the liquor store, get out, walk around, go in, get the champagne, feel fine. I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Right.
But, my kidney's still on my left side, still going, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, oh, okay. Get back in the car, driving back to the Safeway to go get the croissants. Hit it again. Big warm feeling and tingly feeling in my chest. And last time I had a heart attack, that's kind of what I was feeling, but it was a little higher up.
Okay.
But I didn't have any other signs, no tightness in the jaw. I wasn't sweating. I wasn't, none of that other stuff. And I kept telling myself out loud, okay, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I had an anxiety attack. Maybe it's a panic attack. Anyway, get the Safeway. Anyway, long story short, I'm home.
Right.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like taking my pulse, as I'm sitting there and I'm feeling it come on again. And the family's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't feel that good. And like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm just going to go to the ER on Christmas Eve.
Lovely.
All right. Yeah. Headline.
Yeah.
And I know they're medical professionals and then I know that they're working on a holiday.
Yeah.
7 hours.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
I waited to see.
This just in. 7-hour wait at the ER.
To see it.
Oh,
6 hours to get a room.
what time did you did you show up there?
About 9 o'clock.
Timeline 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
So 7 hours.
I was
later.
triaged in 20 minutes.
Right.
Got all
Yeah.
my vitals, got all my stats, told everybody what
Well,
was
he's
going
not
on.
dying. Go sit
And then,
there.
of course, what happens?
Yeah.
All of my symptoms.
Go away.
Bye,
Yeah, I've
bye.
had that happen too.
They're like, here, have take some Tylenol for the pain. I'm like, okay. So I took a couple of Tylenol for the pain,
Uh-huh.
and I was fine.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go.
Right.
And I don't need to see this. And so we stayed. And now it was just out of morbid curiosity to see how long it was going to take. But it turned Christmas midnight. We're sitting in the ER waiting room. Merry Christmas. Some guy there read the night before Christmas to his father who's suffering from dementia. And it was in a wheelchair, and it was just some guy was violently ill, violently throwing up. I mean, audibly
yikes.
from across the room. You heard this.
Ugh.
And that ER staff could not have moved any slower. I'm just saying. This is my observation. I'm not busting on healthcare people. I'm just saying what I saw
in the moment. Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't have cared less.
Wow.
Could not have cared less.
Wow.
So 6 hours to get a room, and then an hour before somebody came to see me. Actually, after about 45 minutes, I took the pulse ox and the blood pressure cuff off, and I walked out. Well, the greatest wife ever is sitting there.
Yeah.
And the mood, by the way, of both of us is just deteriorating. Just,
Yeah.
This is Christmas morning.
Right.
We had finally said to the daughter, the elder, younger, who had come with us, to go back home. Go back home, pull all the presents that were in this room that were all wrapped, and take them downstairs. And then we will set them up later when we come home, if I don't have to stay the night, which I wound up doing anyway because I hadn't seen a doctor. Anyway, finally, I go out to the nurses. I go out to the nurses station. I'm like,
yes,
I've been here for 6 hours, man. And I've been in that room for 45 minutes. Nothing. Nobody. I haven't been registered.
Okay.
Nobody, nothing. And the woman is like, well, I'm your nurse. And I said, no, you're not, because I haven't seen you yet. I'm right over there in that curtain area, 45. And I'm trying to be calm again, attract more flies with, honey and whatever the hell the saying is. And excuse my language, whatever the heck the saying is. And I'm just like,
okay.
No, I don't know what to do. I'm ready to bolt. I'm ready to just go.
Right.
And so finally she comes in after another 15, 20 minutes, because she wasn't going to come in because I said something. That wasn't going to happen.
We got to wait.
She's going to make me wait because she's going to be on her timetable.
Oh, boy.
She comes in and she says, well, your labs are clear. Your urinalysis is clear. I'm like, it took you 6 hours to figure that out, because you took that 5 hours ago.
Right.
5 hours ago.
Wow.
So finally, when a nurse practitioner came in, and he's like, and I've just described all of my symptoms to the nurse, and then the nurse practitioner comes in, and I have to, so what's going on? So I have to start the story all over again with this person. Right. And they go, well, your labs are clear and da, da, da. And I said, yeah, the pain subsided. I just want to go. Now I'm just completely dejected and angry. Greatest wife ever is just beside herself, and she's angry, but she's also disappointed. I mean, just the soup of emotions going on. It's Christmas morning. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, I should say. And we're okay. I'm counting my blessings, right? Trying to count my blessings. So we get home at 5 a.m. And he goes, I can order a CT scan. I'm like, no, I don't want a CT scan. Oh, and I talked to the nurse before, and I said, I just want to go. And she goes, well, I can give you you don't want to be treated. I said, well, I haven't even been registered. So how about if I just walk out? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can walk around and go, where's Mr. Ross? Well, he's not here. I can just go to the front desk and go, yeah, I'm leaving because I was never registered as a patient.
Huh.
Anyway, got home.
Yeah.
And Christmas, it was all set up. Greatest way I've ever grabbed an hour or two on the couch. And I sat in the chair and basically I nodded off for maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, but basically stayed up all night.
Right.
Grandson's getting up at 7 a.m. They're having their Christmas and then they're coming over.
Yeah.
So we had to wake up. So anyway, we had our Christmas and everybody opened up presents and it was wonderful and beautiful. And I want to show you the present that Greatest Wife ever got for me. Because every year we say, oh, we're not getting each other anything. And we wind up getting each other something.
Liars.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I have been when a buddy of mine, Dave Dickinson, who was a program director at SiriusXM of Heart and Soul, and he was a legendary program director of WHUR in which is Howard University in Washington, D.C. Yeah. He passed away. And he had cancer and pancreatic, I believe. But anyway, he had passed away. And I remember, and I was talking to, this is the guy we used to have with he and KB and BK and Franny, we would all have a happy hour on Friday. I think I've told you about that, right? For happy hour on Fridays, we would have B at 3, Bubbles at 3. We'd have champagne toast at 3 on Friday to toast the week.
Right.
And Dave was in the middle of that. Anyway, I always quote Andy Bernard from The Office. And it was in the last episode where he said, you know, when I was here, I was looking back on my days in Cornell. And now when I'm gone, I'm going to be looking back on my days here. He goes, I wish there was a way to know that you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. So the Greatest Wife ever.
All right.
Gave me this.
These are the good old days. Very nice.
There you
Just
go.
a reminder.
Yep. This is the way. This is how you know.
Right.
You're in the good old days before you've left them. I highly recommend it. Get yourself a poster, get yourself something to remember. These are the good old days right now.
These are the days, my friend, they'd never end.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of that song. I was thinking of Anticipation, right? From Carly Simon. These are the good old days.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
So there you go. That's Christmas. Woohoo! So yeah, great presents. We had a wonderful time, had food, and then of course you have all that buildup for weeks and weeks, prepping and food and so on. And then daughter the younger and her boyfriend had to get to his family in New Jersey. So they left at 1. So we had our Christmas. They left before dinner. We had dinner, an afternoon dinner, and they left. So they're gone. My brother and his family, they come over, and my dad shows up for a little bit, and then he bolts. And so we eat, and then they all leave because I'm literally sitting there doing this. And so they're gone by 4:30. And the Greatest Wife ever and I are looking at each other like, what happened? And then we were supposed to go over to a friend's house, and I'm texting them and telling them, look, I was in the ER all night, so we're not going to make it. Because they had a big family Christmas, and they always invite us every time. And so that was Christmas.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, John.
Yes.
I understand you were not well for the holiday.
Understatement of the year. So, I mean, I'll keep my story a little shorter, but bottom line is went to pick up my son and daughter-in-law at the airport, at the Savannah International Airport.
Yeah.
Was feeling okay, drove back. And by the time
by the way, if you don't know that John lives in the Low Country, he is in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. So
yes. Okay. So
anyway.
Savannah's about an hour from there. Went to pick them up. Was excited about everything that was ahead. They were going to spend a week with us, which was great because this was our year to host Christmas. Last year they were at her parents. This year they were here. So we're doing the alternating thing. And
Yeah, right.
by the time I got home, I said to my wife, we came in the door or whatever, and I said, I don't feel great. I'm going to go just lay down. And immediately
Now,
realized
what felt bad, or you just felt off?
I felt
Did you have a
achy and
headache?
off. Yeah, just
Achy, so
achy and off,
fluish.
like something was coming.
Oh
And
man, this
so
was the precursor.
yeah,
This was the
yeah,
preface to the crap sandwich you were about to eat for the
popped
next
the thermometer, and I was running a slight fever.
slight. It was just a
Just slight. It
little.
was just
It
slight.
went
But
off.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a
All
little.
right. All
So
right.
I figured, I'll sleep it off. Then,
Yeah.
of course, fever started going up.
Oh no.
And I'm thinking, the 24-hour bug, 24 hours. It's going to be 24-hour bug, I'm sure.
Mm.
Well, I played the fever roller coaster over the
Oh, that.
next 5 days.
Oh,
5 days of running a fever. I should have gone to the doctor. And next time I'm getting the Tamiflu right away. But I played that roller coaster where, you go, I think I'm feeling better. And then ended up peaking out
right.
at about 104 at one point.
Whoa, that's kind of high, dude.
I tend to run high temperatures. I don't know why that is. That's it. But anyway, yeah. So literally, I would say 2 or 3 days ago. So they end up leaving Thursday to Thursday. They end up leaving. I mean, towards the last couple days, I was actually able to be social. I went out, but still was not feeling 100%. So after they left, I started feeling better. And really, I still have a lingering cough. And now, like tomorrow, I leave for Disney to do 4 days of races, a 5K on Thursday, a 10K on Friday, a half marathon on Saturday, and a full marathon on Sunday. And as we were talking in the pre-show, I'm like, I've not been out. I have not been running. I feel like I'm not ready, but I'm going to go and I'm just going to do, to your point, this is going to be the best days of my life. It doesn't matter if I finish or not. I'm just going to have a good time. And, but
Right.
unfortunately, my wife is now staying home because she's not feeling great. Nor is my dog. My dog is not feeling great.
Oh no.
I mean, it's just got through. It literally went through everybody. But the nice thing was, it didn't hit everybody at the same time. And my son and my older son and daughter-in-law carried Christmas dinner, made beef bourguignon. Had never made it before.
Really nice.
And like so impressed. They went out to the shopping, did the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's definitely some good that came out of it, but I've learned my lesson. From now on, if I feel like that, day one, I'm going to the doctor and I'm getting the Tamiflu.
The lesson I learned,
yeah,
to interrupt, is and I'm talking to my EMT son-in-law, right?
Yeah.
I'm a firefighter, EMT, runs ambulance calls every day.
Mhm.
And he said, yeah, if I was here, you wouldn't have gone to we could have waited it out, worked it out. I could have run your symptoms and then you would have been fine. And not officially, obviously. This would just be, and he wasn't giving me advice to not go to the hospital. Obviously, you have to go to the hospital. But, and I'm sitting there and he was working that night. This is Christmas Eve. And I'm thinking, where is he? I need to talk to him, but I didn't, and I didn't want to. I never, and I didn't want to put him in the position, by the way, to speak to him officially anyway. So anyway, and it was, yeah, that's one of the things that, and then the whole, well, at least you're okay, and I got that from everybody. I got it from my brother. I got it from at least you're okay.
Yeah,
all overshadowed by I had been, and look, I'm not a healthcare professional.
Right.
And I don't work in the hospital. And I haven't gone through all the schooling and all that stuff. However, I am in customer service.
Yeah.
And
I know it's everywhere,
you
though,
don't want
man.
I don't want to criticize the healthcare professionals. I
Yeah.
don't.
No.
But when it comes to customer service, there's a fine line you're walking there. Okay.
Yep.
And everybody was kind and sweet and pleasant. It's not that I was ignored or anything. It's just that they used to have, and because you lived here,
Yeah.
they used to have an express. It was the ER, what was it called? ER Express, ER, whatever. If you had a cut and
Right.
you suture, you were in 20 minutes, sutured, you were out in an hour. Easy, no
Yeah, I've
problem.
been to those. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
You know,
minute
Uh,
clinic type
yeah,
places.
it's gone. That's
Yeah.
gone. That's gone. I mean, like I said, I was triaged in
Yeah.
20 minutes. Even if I'd been seen in an hour, I could have been home by 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Well, I'm sure they were
And
short-staffed, but to your point, I think
I guess
customer service
Christmas
is
Eve,
one of those things. It just, yeah, that's where it gets tough. Just somebody coming in and saying, "Hey, look, we are really short-staffed. It's gonna be a while, like legitimately." And when I say a while, hours.
it was up
So,
on, they have a
that kind of thing.
screen. They
Yeah.
have a screen and they give you a number.
Yeah.
And I could see on my screen, it said priority 3. And I had seen previous wait times, 2 hours, 3
Yeah.
hours for other
Yeah.
people. And I was a priority 3.
Yeah.
I wasn't emergent. I wasn't in the middle of, so.
You weren't in immediate distress. Yeah. So,
No.
yeah, maybe when that
My fault. I
customer
should have left. As soon as I was feeling fine, I should have just left. I should have
Yeah,
just went to them and said, you know what? I'm feeling better. I'm going to go home. That's on me. That's on me.
legitimately, Ron, I had the
Not
same.
them.
I had the
Not
same
them.
thing happen at a trip to Ocean City once. I had a pain on the side to my back and went in the middle of the night alone to the ER, and it took about 6 hours. And that was in Ocean City, Maryland, while my family was sleeping in the hotel.
Okay.
So, I mean, I had the same sort of experience, but and 10 minutes into being there and taking a Motrin or something, I was like, okay.
Right.
But so I had the same option, literally almost the same thing.
Given my heart history,
Yeah, you've
there's
got
part of
that.
me that's going, and there's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
stories of people
Like,
and
you
people
don't
my
go and you don't want to,
age, and I'm like, no, not on Christmas Eve. Okay.
you don't want
So
to
moving on.
wind up dead for the holidays, Ron.
I don't want to spend the holidays dead, Clark.
That's it. Thank you.
So we were invited though to a New Year's Eve party, and every year Greatest Wife Ever and I go through this dance every year. What are we doing for New Year's Eve? Nothing's going on for New Year's Eve. Well, we had friends, bands that were playing here and there. They were kind of far away, at least a 45-minute drive. I don't know if I want to be out driving on New Year's Eve. And Jennifer just posted on our Facebook page. Jennifer, Happy New Year there, Jennifer. I've never gotten out of the ER in less than 6 hours. We just know and are prepared for all those hours if we ever need to go. I guess so. I guess you got to be ready that's what it's going to be. So we were invited, and I've told her, she's like, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want you, because by the way, what you want doesn't exist. It's only in the movies, because I want to go to like When Harry Met Sally New Year's Eve, where there's a thank you.
Yeah.
Where there's a band playing,
right?
Not a pop band, but like a big band with a vocalist and all that stuff. And it's a supper club with a table and a lamp, and I can have a steak dinner and a cocktail and get up and dance. And I've got a tux on, and the Greatest Wife Ever has got a gown on, and blah, blah, blah. And then champagne toast at midnight, and then sparklers and confetti, and we sing Auld Lang Syne, and you have 1 or 2 more drinks, and then grab a cab and you go home. That's what I want. None of it exists.
About?
Never exists. Does not exist. Doesn't even exist in the nation's capital. Although a friend of mine's daughter, Valerie, was telling me that her sister, Madeline, did that. Madeline went to something in Washington, D.C. Now, I've worked New Year's Eve as a radio guy for 1,000 years. counting
Yeah.
in the new year, all that stuff. And that's where the daughter, greatest wife ever, knows that the time to go to the open bar is at midnight. When everybody else is counting in the new year, you're standing, it's just you and the bartender. And lining up shots and just
light them up, baby.
It's open bar. Yeah, there you go. Here's $20 tip. Here you go. Thank you. You know, just happy New Year there, Clem, or whatever your name is, Dean.
Clem. Clem.
Really?
We did that one year. There was a big package thing, and we did it one year, and then my wife got overserved, and that ended before midnight.
Yeah, see, that's that.
So it's still, even the perfect thing was not the perfect thing. Oh, I will say my son did do something pretty cool for New Year's. He works for an audiovisual company who they've run the New Year's Eve party in Hilton Head, and he was part of the team responsible for dropping the golf ball from the from the lighthouse.
It's a golf ball, and Frederick, it's a key.
Yeah, exactly.
The key.
But
Got key.
That's pretty cool.
Frederick. Yeah. Nice.
So, yeah.
That's cool. So anyway,
yeah.
She said it doesn't exist. And I told her, I said, you know what needs to happen is, and this is what happened with us with Heritage Festival. It's what happened with us with Middletown Heritage Festival. It happened with us with Christmas.
Start your own.
Do your own. And as soon as the words came out of my mouth, she goes, absolutely not. There's no, we would have no time.
Was it hanging there like a bubble? Like,
unless you
the words
do it,
came out of my mouth.
Well, she's like right. No, she's dead on. She's dead on correct. Okay. She goes, unless we start it right now in January.
Right. True.
And that way, by the time it's just plug and play, you arrange your band, you get your venue, you get everything done.
Right.
And your sponsors and so on and so forth. And you have your venue, and then it's just, Merry Christmas and the day after Christmas. That's all you do for 7 days up until New Year's Day. Then sure. But is that what you want to do for your holidays? So I said, anyway, so the bright spot is we were invited to a New Year's Eve party, a private party. And we were like, okay, let's go. And it was like, please wear cocktail attire. I'm like, oh, cool. I get to dress up. I love wearing a coat and tie. Sorry, Catholic schools. Love wearing a coat and tie. I have no problem with it. I know how to tie 3 different tie knots. The Windsor, the half Windsor, and I don't know what the other one's called. And I'm all about that. And it was really nice. It was fun. And I didn't drink at all. I just decided I was just going to hang out and drink. I had a cup of coffee in my Spider-Man cup, drank that, and then it was just water with me all night. So I was really just kind of jamming on the food because it was my last hurrah.
Right.
Until the diet. Dun dun dun. And yeah. So it was a great time. So we want to thank Julian Pushkar for inviting us over to their house, and it was a wonderful time. People were all dressed up and nice. Although the greatest way I've ever said, see, they're grown children were having a different party downstairs with drinking games and flip cup and beer pong. And I'm like, why didn't we go downstairs? Why did we hang out up here? So, but still, it was a wonderful time. And we never, it just feels like that never happens. We never have a good time on New Year's Eve, but we actually did have a good time. And yesterday was just kind of lay around. And then we have today, which is the saddest day of all. Oh, I did want to mention, by the way, go Ravens. Go Ravens.
My Eagles who are going in the sewer, like the team's being flushed down the toilet. Yeah, go ahead.
Not even talking to daughter the younger about that. She lives in
it's brutal.
I haven't said anything. Because I've learned I don't trash talk. I don't trash talk. Nothing good ever comes from it anyway, and you just sound like a jerk. So I don't do that anymore. I used to, of course. And there was a friend of mine because he was a huge Commanders / previous Redskins fan. And they're imploding. And I said, dude, just switch over and watch the Ravens game. And he's like, never. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, don't.
And
do
I was
that.
gonna give him a bunch of crap, and I was gonna say, hey, you know what? There's no room on the bandwagon for you anyway. But I didn't say that. I'm like, you know what? You're welcome anytime you want to join us and watch a Ravens game and enjoy a Ravens game. Please, we love to have you. I'm trying to take the high road when it comes to sports because it always, number one, you just sound like an idiot, and number two, it always blows up in my face. So I'm not doing. I'm cautiously optimistic with my dad. So today is and we are going to get. I know it's 11:46. We're going to get to the question of the day. You want to do that now? Let's do the question of the day.
We can do that.
You want to do the question of the day?
You don't even have to have a reason.
Okay, great. Let's go. Here we go. Because I know I'm running a little late. I had a lot of talking to do. Time. Get the gray matter working, fire off the synapses, the gates for the lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to think. Dang. It's the dun key question of the day. Oh, no, it's not. It's the question of the day. Key question of the day is on
oops.
Key 103 Radio.
Listen to Ron on key103online.com.
Key103radio.com. Or just download the app and stick it on your phone. And it's a lot nicer than the series. I didn't mean
all right.
Here's today's question of the day. Are you ready? All right, here we go.
All right.
Ripped from the headlines. Not only was Taylor Swift Times Person of the Year and made over $1 billion from the Eras Tour and had #1 vinyl sales of the year for 1989, Taylor's version, but now she has broken a long-time record of most weeks for albums at #1 for a solo artist with 68 weeks. A Taylor Swift album has been at #1, not in a row, just total 68 weeks. Whose record did she break?
For a solo artist.
For a solo artist.
That's the key there.
All right. And that is the key.
Part of the key.
Here's the question one more time. Not only was Taylor Swift Times Person of the Year and made over $1 billion from the Eras Tour and had #1 vinyl sales of the year for 1989, Taylor's version, but now she has broken a longtime record of most weeks for albums at #1 for a solo artist with 68 weeks. Whose record did she break? Good luck. I was doing a bunch of year-end stuff on the on Key 103 doing my afternoon show.
Yes.
And it was all, the two people who had like the year. Actually, there were three. But it was Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus.
What?
Had a heck of a year.
Really?
Huge hit songs. She's got like
I don't know about that, Rod.
6. I don't know.
That's my Miley.
Hi, it's Miley Cyrus, and I'm pretty cool.
I'm pretty cool.
I
don't know. Sorry.
Is that your Miley? That
was my Miley.
And by the way, and Beyonce had a huge year. But still, and Sia had a huge year, and Olivia Rodrigo had a huge year. But I think the #1 and #2 was Taylor and Miley Cyrus. And I'm
okay.
And I'm like, look at her go. And she now has a song called When I Was Young. I'm like, if Miley is lamenting about when she was young,
seriously,
what the heck does that make me?
Really old.
I mean,
and gray.
All right, here we go. One more time. Here's the question. One more time. Ripped from the headlines. Not only was Taylor Swift Times Person of the Year and made over $1 billion from her Eras Tour, and now #1 vinyl sales of the year for 1989, Taylor's version. Now she has broken a long-time record of most weeks for albums at #1 for a solo artist with 68 weeks. Whose record did she break? Let's see these answers. Here we go. Who's #1? Jim said Michael Jackson, Thriller. Not one album, it's all albums, Jim. So why don't you rethink that? All out of all albums of a solo artist catalog that have spent weeks at number one. Okay. So rethink it. Joanne's also with Michael Jackson. That's incorrect. Taylor said Madonna. No. We got another Michael Jackson from Jennifer. Napua said MJ. All right, listen.
I got one. There's one more though.
One more. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's get one more. Mike said Elvis. That's correct. There you go.
Yes, very good.
Elvis had 67 weeks. One of an Elvis album was at number one.
Nice.
Of various albums, Blue Hawaii.
Hey.
But Taylor just surpassed that 68 weeks. Now, the biggest artist that had the most weeks, she's got a ways to go because that's the Beatles. With like over 120, she'd have to do twice as much as what she's doing right now. Something like 120, something like that. For
on her way.
But there you go. Nice job. Woo-hoo. Congratulations.
Yes, indeed.
Carry that around with you all day today. All right. So
yes,
it is January. Greatest Wife Ever and I have said that's it. This is 2024. We both turn an age this year that is just not a real number to me.
You and my wife as well.
It's weird. It's weird, man. It's weird. I can't wrap my head around it. And so we've decided we're going to be the best that we can possibly be, physically, mentally, spiritually.
Good for you.
As much as we can, as the best that we can absolutely be. So thus I've started a diet. Now, friends of mine, specifically of one friend, we have two friends in our circle, both named Michelle. One has two L's, the other one has one L. So we call the one with one L, 1L. And so she has lost 68 pounds.
That's a good one.
Weight Watchers over the course of a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she goes to the gym. All right.
Right.
But, she eats. I've seen her eat. And she's just this super little skinny thing. So much so that she said that she probably lost a little bit too much. So she had to put a little bit more back on. So she started eating a little bit more fat to just kind of bring her weight back up into where she wanted to be. And then another friend, and then we had friends who dropped easily like about 50 pounds each doing Weight Watchers. And it just seemed to start to make sense to me. I'm like, okay, because you don't tell yourself, no, I can't have that. Because if you want to have a piece of chocolate cake, okay, well, how many points is that? It's a point system and so on. So Greatest Wife Ever and I did some research, and we've decided she's going to go and she's doing the logging the food and counting your calories approach.
That works.
I just realized that daughter of the younger gave me for Christmas one year. Why did that turn on? That's weird.
Don't know.
Gave me a Fitbit. So I have a Fitbit Inspire, a little fitness watch, right?
Yeah.
Tells me every hour I need to do 250 steps to win the hour. But also what it has on the app when you track is a calorie counter, and you track your food. And I literally this morning, after I had 2 scrambled eggs, and I put it in there, 2 scrambled eggs, no butter. We used Can't Believe It's Not Butter, which is 0 calories. But you log it. You say, can't believe it's not, and it's in there, the brand name.
Right. That's the good part about this.
Yeah. And we have the 642 bread. Have you seen the low calorie bread?
No.
642. Yeah. 642 white bread, Italian bread. And I had 2 pieces of toast with the Can't Believe It Not, and that was 40 calories each slice. Log it in. They carried the brand name. And then I was taking my meds, and I take vitamins and stuff like that, and I had this one for a little testosterone boost. Guess what? It's also in there, and there are also calories associated with it.
Are there?
Yes, it's on the bottle. I looked at it and it said 35 calories. I'm like, really? And it's for a full dose. So if you just take one, it was like 11 calories. So I logged it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to start logging everything.
Honestly, it works. I think because
Yeah.
I did Nutrisystem, and usually when I get a little bit out of hand, I do that. I lost at age 40, I lost 45 pounds doing Nutrisystem, and really have only gained back about 10 or 15 most
Right.
of
Yes.
that ever since
Yeah.
then. But the point is, logging what you're doing, looking at what you're eating, realizing the calorie and the portion size. Once you start doing that and you figure out, where you really need to be, that is the way you change your behavior over time.
Well, the bonus is,
And every
though,
once in a while I forget, by the way.
sure, of course you do. Why wouldn't you? But the bonus of this is that it's also a fitness. So it's like you need to get these steps in, get these steps in.
That's
so
good too.
It's making me, conscious of that. So we've started that. That's that, and that was started today. And also I'm doing dry January, which I've kind of like.
Well, that'll kill some calories right there.
I haven't really been drinking that much. I would think. I mean, I'm ready to drink. Let's go, woo! And I'll get a drink, and then that's it. And I'll order another one, and then I waste it. I don't like sip, done. You know what I mean? And I New Year's Eve, I wasn't having anything, so I'm just gonna do. I'm doing dry January again, which isn't really a big adjustment for me. It really isn't, and I feel good saying that. Because I used to drink a lot. I did, and on the weekends, and I never really drank during the week, which is interesting. But I would sit there.
For COVID.
Yeah,
I did during COVID.
I thought we were going to, and the greatest wife ever said she had a huge fear that that's what we were going to do, that we were just going to pound it during COVID. No, not really.
I didn't pound it. But a glass of wine at night, like I would.
Yeah.
Just got into kind of the habit of I'm gonna have a glass of wine every night.
I don't really have. It's funny. I don't have a lot of it on hand anymore. Well, I mean, I was watching the Ravens game.
Yeah,
I was watching the Ravens game, and I told the greatest wife ever. I said, "You know what? I really want a beer," and because I've pretty much cut beer out.
Yeah.
So we had some old skunky, stinky beer sitting in the crisper in the fridge, and it was a Corona. So, and it was all right. It wasn't that bad. Put a lime in it, but again, I did the same thing. I had one. I'm like, this is fantastic. Great game. I'm going to go get another beer. Sip. I'm done. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. And I'm happy about it though. And to tell you what, that restaurant check with no alcohol in it,
it's a lot less.
You're sitting there like, really? Only $40? Really?
I know, right? It is shocking sometimes.
It really, really is. I mean, I had to. We were at a restaurant, and was that Friday? Past Friday, we were at a restaurant, and and we're sitting in the bar, and the greatest wife ever had been there with her friend. Oh, I did want to mention her as well, and a little bit. Not by name, but just some of the drama that she's been going through with her poor dad. As much as I keep complaining about, Christmas Eve and so on, again, the bottom line is I'm fine. It was just really just kind of the inconvenience of everything, and everybody was working. And you tend to look now at a bigger picture because a friend of ours is just going through some serious health issues with her dad, and family members are gathering and making hard decisions. And I'm watching this just gut-wrenching to watch, and it's right at Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the week afterwards, and it's like I can't spend this time away from work because I gotta work, so I can make money, so I can live and pay my rent or my mortgage. It's like I'm watching all that, and I just wanted to acknowledge that she's rolling through it though. She's putting up a good. She's meeting the challenge as much as she can with poise and grace. I think as much as anybody could. So she's doing a good job. Anyway, what was I saying? I digress. I got off the beaten track. What was I talking about? Dry January.
Dry January. Yeah, health benefits, diet.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. Well, with dry January, according to research, I pulled up on alcohol. an article. Giving up alcohol for just 1 month can give you big time health benefits, including weight loss, better sleep, lower blood pressure, better skin, and even lowering your risk of cancer and other diseases, including heart disease. Ron. So it's another good thing I can do for myself. So that's the goal for this year, for 2024. And it is sad day because we're undecking the halls, and I pulled up a bunch of the boxes, and it's just stinks. And I told the greatest wife ever, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna watch Christmas movies year round, just because I hate that the day after. What's Bud say? Bud posted something, had some homemade mango Lassi. I don't know what. Spiked with Grey Goose for New Year's, but that was the first alcohol since last April. Wow. Good job, Bud. Wow, how do you feel, man? How do you feel is the question. Sounds amazing. Wow. So anyway, I'm dealing with that now in my mind. Luckily, if the Ravens do okay, even if they don't do okay, they make it, they're in the playoffs. Even if they lose the first game of the playoffs, that's okay. It's kind of gotten me through the post-holiday doldrums. Which is fine. I don't invest like a lot of my great frame of mind in the sports team anymore, because it was like Orioles, and then they finally get to the playoffs and 3 and out.
I wish I could say that.
Good season.
College.
I know, because you and the Dayton Flyers, my friend.
Yeah, we're having a good season, by the way, so far. Probably the best since 2020, where we were, a top 4 seed in the tournament.
Because he's on the team,
and it got canceled. The tournament got canceled.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
were they invited to the NCAA Division I?
There was no tournament that year.
Weren't they invited though? They had invitations.
No tournament. There was no invitation.
No invitations went out.
Got canceled right before the everything happened.
I remember that. March Madness. There was no March Madness.
Everybody said we were going to be a top 4 seed, top 4 in the country.
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, hoping for a good year. Everyone pray for my Flyers, please. Pray for them to do their best, because that's all you can do, right? Because you can't pray for them to win. That's what we believe, right?
Right.
You have to pray for them to perform to the best of their abilities.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Right.
Well, that's all right. Go Maryland. I finally got some for Christmas.
Yeah.
My daughter of the younger's boyfriend, Will, went to Maryland. And so did I. And I had no Maryland gear. And I swear, man, people are no, I didn't have any Maryland gear. I don't know. Your wife went to Maryland. Yeah. And actually we went to Maryland together. And I
kind of did.
I had spoken something and somebody's listening. Somebody's always listening, because I said, you know what? I don't have any I went to Maryland. I have no Maryland gear. I had a Pi Kappa Alpha hoodie, which I can't wear anymore because of, now I'm on Weight Watchers, or, I'm on a diet.
Right.
And I can't wear that anymore. And you look at the size and you're like, oh my God, I was a small.
Yeah.
I was happy when I was a medium. But anyway, so I got that really, really nice hoodie, University of Maryland hoodie.
Oh, nice.
And it's great. And I'm wearing it all the time now. So now it's like, well, I need to. And of course it's black, so I have to duct tape the cat hair off every day before I leave the house.
The pride of Maryland.
University of Maryland Terrapins, College Park, Johnny Holiday, all in the games.
Yeah.
for
good
the Maryland basketball. So, all right. Oh my gosh, we're over time.
Yeah, we are.
So, and I guess next week I'm going to bring up the January soup month. So get geared up for that. We're going to talk about soups. I was really excited that I was going to make some soups, and of course, the greatest way I've ever was like, well, you're going to have to make some low caloric soups. I'm like, which is true. So no baked potato soup, no No cream of crab.
Do some wedding
No.
soup or
Yeah.
something like that, or crab vegetable would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I'm gonna do a veggie soup.
Yeah,
A vegetable
good.
soup will be fine.
Really good. Really good.
And right, exactly.
All right.
Low to no fat. So okay. I think
Okay.
that's it. Have I caught up on everything? Did I do anything I
I
wanted
think
to
you got most. I think you got most of it all.
John, did you talk to him about anything? There's anything you want to bring up that I
No,
completely
I'm good.
missed?
I'm good. Just
Are you sure?
think about
Oh!
me this weekend while I'm running.
Right. So John, when are you leaving? Tomorrow?
Leaving tomorrow. First race is Thursday, the 5K.
All right. Do us all a favor, Johnny.
What
And
is that?
post.
You know what? Actually, I can post my tracking info.
That's what I'm saying.
The
Post
tracking
it
link
on
to
the
the show.
Ron Ross, the podcast Facebook page.
Yeah,
Please.
so you all can follow along those
Post
mornings.
there and on the Instagram and on the Twitter.
Right. And if you want to follow along at Intercot, like I'll be posting to the socials with stupid pictures, I'm sure, along the way, and also some fun stuff. So
the pictures aren't stupid, it's the subject.
Well, yeah.
Just kidding.
No, it's true. It's okay.
It's not true.
I do know. I love making an idiot of myself. It's the people love that.
I'm a professional at it.
So. I'm a professional idiot maker.
Look
That's
it up.
me.
Look it up in the book.
Look it up. Yeah. So I will post the link, and if you want to follow along even closer, just through the next 5 or 6 days or whatever, at INTERCOT on all the socials, whichever one you like the most.
So anyway, in closing, I wanted 2023 was a year of change for me. Life hands you a bunch of stuff, and sometimes you don't expect what's going to be happening, and then it happens. But you know what? And I'm making the best of the quality of life. I was telling the greatest wife ever last night. I was sitting there watching TV, and it was New Year's Day, and we were watching the Yellowstone season, or they were doing a marathon. And excuse me, that was rude. And and I just realized, and I kept looking at her, going, I feel like there's some work that I have to do. But that's how immersed I was in all the other things I was doing with my previous job. Is even if I was sitting watching television, I still had a laptop in front of me and I was working on something else. So quality of life has gone through the roof now,
which is great.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I in no way am going to thank them for making that happen. But it is what it is. I'm going to look at the benefits.
You turned lemons into lemonade. The proverbial saying. You really did.
Yes.
Proud of you. Proud of you, son.
Well, no, I wanted to thank you again for picking me up when I was down and making all of this happen. And I want to thank everybody who's listening, who watches the podcast and listens and spreads the word and posts it and follows us and subscribes and all that stuff. And that I'm humbled and I cannot thank you enough. And send suggestions like, hey, don't talk about this or talk about this more or what have you. Let us know what you think. And you can leave a message if you want, 240-415-9090, 240-415-9090. I read every comment here on Facebook and also on YouTube. And you can find the podcast, the audio version, wherever you get your podcast, although not Google fairly soon. Right. So with that, all I'm going to say is my new sign off is, listen, please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. Remember, these are the good old days. Ron Ross, love you, mean it. Bicycle.
Bye, friends.